Welcome to this episode of the Seven Freedoms Intentional Living podcast with me, Iona Maid, here at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. And so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about spirituality, and we're on episode 13, which is quite exciting, actually, almost a couple of weeks in. Talking about spiritual business and life work balance. So if you've joined me prior to this, then thank you for coming back. If you are new to listening to this podcast, what we are going to do, as I do every single day, is journal. And we are going to journal and talk specifically about spirituality and spiritual awakening. Because when you go through an awakening and understanding whatever spirituality means to you, for me, is about energy and knowing that we're energy and knowing that we are souls having a human experience. Yes, we can use spiritual practices and spiritual tools to have that connection to the universe, our guides, source, God, etc. I like to say that because I know that we are souls having a human experience, that looking at the world through the lens of your soul, meaning not being pushed and pulled by our humanness. Spirituality means different things to different people. I haven't actually looked up the definition, but talking about spiritual awakening, I have my book, and you may or may not have seen this. It's a blank notebook. I've journaled in it. It's a journal, and I call it the Soul Legacy Journal. 365 days of your spiritual awakening story. I created Soul Path to Spiritual Alchemy for light workers. And by that, I mean that you go through your awakening, you gather whatever I say spiritual ascension tools to assist you in going through that whole awakening process in the dark night of the soul and all the things, and then come out of the other side with a shift in your consciousness and a shift in your awareness. And the book that I listened to today is from Cal Gray, Raise Your Vibration, and he talks about high vibe tools for after your spiritual awakening, which I love. So I'm going to refer to that because I always listen to at least a chapter or more of a book each day relating to these 7 areas, these 7 freedoms. And then I share with you what I've been learning, because I'm always a student, always learning, always a teacher as well. And Carl Gray mentions about the low vibration. And so this intentional living freedoms, the 7 freedoms frequency for intentional living podcast is about your vibrational frequency and the lower vibration. I consider myself a low vibration teacher. So I love that. And I love hearing other people's perspective and giving tools and things. So I invite you to journal, whatever journal you journal in, and journal every day. And Cal Gray talks about spiritual practices, and this is a beautiful spiritual practice. He talks about a daily spiritual practice, and I'll go into that more towards the end of this podcast. So talking about spirituality and talking about spiritual business and work-life balance. So I'd love to know what triggered you to start your spiritual business, and when you think of your spiritual business and work-life balance, what does that actually mean to you? For me, getting pushed and pulled by life, because we can, being in the rat race and doing all the things, for me, that anything that is outside of me moving through my day in ease, grace, and flow is a no-no. So that's what I would say, because we forget that we're souls having a human experience, and we forget that there's choice. And so, yes, sometimes we've got lots of things on, but essentially we get to choose. We get to have that decision of how we want to live our life, right? So this podcast, we talk about spiritual business and life work balance, and we talk about your vision, and we talk about values and your vibration. And so if you have, oh gosh, I've put 2 on there now. There we go. If you resonate with this podcast, or you want to know like the backstory of it, and you want it to work for you even more powerfully, I call a 1 week to create a badass spiritual business vision board challenge, and a bank 50k in 50 days challenge. And that we do the bank 50K in 50 days vibrationally first. So it's understanding that we are energy and doing things energetically first and or clearing the blocks from the energy. I know you know, but like we don't always apply that to money. So the vision that you have, excuse me, for your life and for your spiritual business, excuse me, when you do the vision board challenge, the brain thinks as images, and the universe, when you ask, it's given. You're being in energetic alignment in vibration to that vision. And so not having a vision and not knowing what it is that you want to experience, you kind of really can't put that impression on the universe and then vibrate at that frequency, if that makes sense. So living an intentional life, we start with vision, and then we're in alignment with our values, and then we're raising our vibration to the vision that this or something better that we want to experience. So being clear, a lot of my students come to me and they say they're not clear, and they got clarity. They get clarity from me. And when you have that clarity, you automatically raise your vibrational frequency. When you have clarity in each of these 7 areas that we talk about on the 7 Freedoms Intentional Living podcast, for that spiritual business and life work balance, it's just epic. It's just epic. So on Monday, we talk about, and day 1 of the Spiritual Business Vision Board Challenge, we talk about contribution, and I call it Contribution Freedom Mondays, just so we don't forget the days. Like, this is the day where we focus on our vision for contribution. Tuesdays, we focus on our health. Wednesdays, we focus on emotions. Thursdays, we focus on environment. Fridays, we focus on relationships. Saturday is spiritual freedom, and then Sundays is financial freedom. So that when we go through each of the days, and if you do this practice with me regularly, you start to journal on these areas, specifically focusing on these areas, paying those attention, where energy goes, or attention goes, energy flows, whatever that saying is. You'll see the growth and evolution and expansion that you have. And the Cal Gray talks about the miracles, and he talks about the course of miracles. So again, I'll talk about that towards the end. It's just a really, really beautiful practice to focus on a specific area, break down your life, and then put it back together again. I think it's the biggest spiritual practice, because you're trusting. You're saying, this is what I'd like to experience, and you're trusting that that is going to happen in the world, which is just really beautiful. Like, the universe is going to show you how. It's not the universe is just going to give it all to you, like hand it, because there's no hand to give it to you, but the nudges and the synchronicities and all those things. And it's just understanding it, and understanding and knowing and doing it. I think there's increments along the way to understanding. So what is your vision for your spiritual business and a spiritual life, an intentional life? What does that look like for you? Let me know. Request access to the Google Doc, or you can become a student of mine in the Soul Legacy Academy, and do your vision board challenge with me. I do it live on the second week in December at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So every single year I create and set a vision for myself, and then I go about the business of raising my vibration every day, closing that vibrational gap, and then just watch things manifest. And so spiritually, knowing that we weren't taught it in schools, right? Knowing that what is on our mind and our thoughts and our feelings and our action can actually bring about into physical form, from the ethers, what it is that we want to experience. It's just epic, an understanding. It really is. So if you're listening to this on an Audible or Spotify, a podcast platform, then the URL that I have on the screen on the YouTube channel here at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona, is www.soullegacyacademy.com/courses/vision board, and you can log in and enroll. I actually have a guide in there that's is how to visualize what you want and how to get it. There's a guide that I actually purchased, and then I made my own I think it's like 2012, something like that, like 13 years ago, maybe more. And it's still relevant now because the universal laws, they don't change their law. And so how to visualize why you what you want and how to get it is actually in the Facebook group, in the vision board Facebook group, and in the file section. And so I'd invite you to go through that so you can have that understanding of how visualization works, and how to visualize what you want and how to get it, and making decisions on what it is that you want to experience. So that's the same. You can go through that as you go through the vision board challenge. So getting clear on your vision is huge. Your values, what you are in alignment with. So what are your values? I know that, and it's not a value, it's just a myth and a belief that keeps us stuck, where, oh, if you're spiritual, you can't have money, when that isn't a spiritual belief, because everything is energy, including money. Like paper, the paper that makes the money is the paper that makes the book. Like it's energy. And so do you have spiritual practices for you to stay connected, for you to raise your vibrational frequency? How are you doing? I'd love to know that, how your values lead you in your spiritual practices, because there's a lot of my students will have all the spiritual practices, all of the tools and the modalities, and apply them to certain areas of their life, but not others. And this is an invitation here on the Seven Freedoms Intentional Living podcast to apply that to every area of your life, every day, all day. Like, you know, like the human conditioning, moving through that. All right. So what I want to do is rate our vibrational frequency, and I have rated my vibrational frequency here on the Seven Freedoms Intentional Living podcast. And so the frequency I say is my soul signature system, where what this is taken out of, is called the Intentional Living Codes. So the Seven Freedoms Intentional Living podcast. So the intentional living codes, and the cheers to financial freedom frequency, meaning that when you do your 1 week to create a badass spiritual business vision board challenge, you are creating that vision and in alignment with your values in those 7 areas. So contribution, health, emotions, environment, relationships, spirituality. That spells out an acronym called cheers. And I say the cheers to financial freedom frequency, the frequency, your frequency, where you are now, that vibrational gap, is our job, using the low vibration, or utilizing the low vibration, being aware of it, and doing specific things to be in alignment with your vision, right? And so we want to check in on our vibration on those 7 areas. And that's what we do on this Seven Freedoms Intentional Living podcast. And we journal about it. We add up our score on a Sunday, and we see, oh, okay, where's been dipping, what's been going on in our life, and how can we raise our vibrational frequency, regardless of whether life in the physical form changes or not. Because in spiritually and spirituality, the understanding that there's a physical and a non-physical, right? And so in order for things to manifest in the physical, we have to hone into the invisible, right? And so it sounds weird, doesn't it? But we know it. And so raising our vibration, the frequency that we're emitting, and I'll talk about it with Cal Gray's book, it's really good insight. I love the book. I've never read it, so it's nice to actually listen to that on Audible. I just bought the book and I gave away the physical copy. I probably will get another copy so I can read along with it. So I've rated my vibrational frequency between a 1 and an 11. Mine is an 11. And so I've been rating my vibrational frequency every single day. And then on Sundays, we add up the frequency, and you will vibrate between a 1 and 11. So by the end of the week, your score, essentially, that code, that number, will be lower or higher each week, or maybe it's the same. And so mine has dipped from last week to this week. So that's interesting. There's stuff that has happened, and I'm like, oh, I'm still vibing high, but I just wanted to acknowledge it rather than just doing an 11, 11, 11. So today my spiritual freedom frequency is an 11. I'm rating that vibration. And so I just feel really high vibe. I just feel really good. I was just chatting to somebody on a dating app on Tinder, actually. I'm on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, and I talk about that on my second YouTube channel for Intention. The Intention dating app to attract your soulmate is what I will be doing. And so somebody said to me, like, I said, "Oh, you look happy," and he said, "Yeah, you look happy. You look like not high vibe." He didn't say that. I can't remember what he said. He said, "Oh, positive, I think." And I was like, oh, "Okay." And then he said, I said, "I'm very grateful." And so he said, "What are you grateful for?" Because all I hear is doom and gloom. I said, "I don't read the news. I don't watch the news and don't read the newspapers." And he said, "No, neither do I." And I said, "I've had a lot of losses in my life. And so I'm grateful for life." Like there doesn't, and again, with Cal Gray's book, he talks about the miracles. So I'll talk about that. Just being grateful. And he's like, "Yeah, actually, here he had a loss of his mum." And he's like, "Yeah, you just adjust kind of thing." And so doom and gloom, I don't know if that's the norm. It's not my norm. And it depends on what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and who you're hanging around with and what you're consuming. It's not high vibe. And Calgary says like a high vibe life is a good life. So what is your vibrational frequency? So SFS is Spiritual Freedom Saturdays. So note that down in your journal. And if you are a student of mine, if you come to my masterclass, the Spiritual Business Book Marketing on YouTube, a free masterclass and Bank 50K 50 Days Challenge, that is where the Bank 50K 50 Days Challenge starts in the visible world. But we're going to walk through how to bank 50K in 50 days, or just to spend 50K, £1,000, dollars, euros every single day. So we're in alignment and in harmony, and we're raising our vibration around all of the seven freedoms, and experiencing that lifestyle in our mind, in the non-physical, for in order for it to manifest in the physical, because we're kind of living that already. And so when you come to the masterclass, I will share with you how you can get 2 hours of coaching with me. It's $77 a month. And I gift an entire year on spiritual business and life work balance coaching for you to live an intentional life. I love it. We're setting intentions every single day, and we're moving through life in ease, grace, and flow. There isn't a poverty consciousness of a lack and a lack of time and a lack of this and a lack of that. I don't have this and this is going wrong. Like, and there's doom and gloom. Not on my watch. No. All right. So let me see. Okay. So here at the Soul Legacy TV, and as the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy and creator of the Soul Legacy movement, my vision is to assist in the mental health and well-being of our nation and our future generations, escape a poverty consciousness and elevate a prosperity consciousness. And that starts with me. It starts with you, one light worker at a time. And so how we launch our day, lead our day, and leave our day, I want to do it with ease, grace, and flow. Are you doing it in ease, grace, and flow? That spiritual flow, like that soul, I call it soul flow versus soul funk. So that rating is soul funk or soul flow. So how do you launch your day relating to spirituality? Are you doing spiritual practices? Do you feel high vibe? Do you visualize? Do you journal? Oh, I just got ringing in my ears. Wow. And the synchronicities and the signs in the universe and all those things we know are ringing in their ears. Some people like it's tinnitus or tinnitus, whatever it's called. And then others like myself, I'm like, oh yeah, sign, thank you. Which is it? And then we're going and we're looking up the signs. We're seeing the angel numbers. We're seeing all the synchronicities, all those things. I love it. I'm always screenshotting. My phone is jammed up with like 222 and 444 and 1515 and 1333 and all the things. So yeah, so I just completely lost my train of thought. So how we launch our day, lead our day, and leave our day. What spiritual practices do you use or utilize in the morning, during the day, and at night? Do you journal? Do you visualize? I do the vision board challenge. We play our vision board every single day, every single morning, and every single night. And I'm not always consistent at it. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I play it. When I've got projects and stuff on, it's less so. But as a standard rule, playing that or visualize, I don't really need the vision board so much now because I know what's on it and I know what's manifesting and I know what I'm working towards. I take my vision from my vision board and I bring it into my daily routine. And that is how I launch my day, lead my day, and leave my day. I'm living it already. And so that when things manifest of late, I'm like, oh, it was better on my vision board. It's like feels more high vibe on your vision board than it does in reality. Because by the time it's manifested in reality, it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's good. Things are good. I liken this to climbing up the mountain because obviously it was hard. Or doing the Tough Mudder, I'd rehearsed it over in my mind. And it was definitely better on my vision board than it was in. It was good, but I'm like, oh, because we don't know what the physical is. I mean, there's physical exertion in that. And so when you're visualizing, you might not be visualizing the physical exertion of doing 3 peaks, climbing up 3 mountains for 13 and a half hours, 24 miles, and the level, the tiredness of that, and then the next day and the next few days being stiff, not being able to really walk, and like feet peeling. My feet were good. I just intuitively knew to put loads of pairs of socks on, and so I was fine. Had I not have done that, my feet would have been in tatters. But yeah, the actual experience of it, and so many pieces were just so much better because you don't know what it is standing on that mountain, on that peak, like, and the beautiful views and the breathtaking and the silence, and it was just epic. So I'm not saying it was bad, but yeah, when we're visualizing when things actually happen, it's just like, oh, it's just this is when you've rehearsed things in your mind, it's a little bit weird. But anyway, how do you launch your day, lead your day, and leave your day? And can you set 1 to 3 soul intentions this week between now and next Saturday to incorporate more spirituality or spiritual practices, not more spirituality, but just that things that you used to do that you don't necessarily do, or things that are lowering your vibration. And it could even be just eating high vibrational foods or drinking high vibrational fluids, liquids, rather than low vibrational. And that would include alcohol, although I did go out on Friday and I did drink alcohol. I'm not teetotal. I'm a little bit sober curious sometimes, but just being aware. And it's not never do anything, but just, what would you include to keep your vibration high? And yesterday I was a worse for wear, and I didn't do Saturday's podcast here. I am doing it on Sunday and talking like it's Saturday. I always call myself out. So yeah, I'd gone out the night before, a little bit worse for wear. Not crazy, but yeah, it does impact you. And I'm doing a daily live, so it does impact you, definitely. And I have not planned to go out, so I consumed Coca-Cola, which is like the sugar intake as well, because I fast and stuff and I limit that. But it's fine. My friend was dancing and she was dancing in her living room, and within 20 minutes we were out the door. I'm like, how did this work? It used to be me. It is normally me, not it used to be. It's normally me. It's not normally her. I'm like, okay, we'll go. So that was fun. So what intentions can you set? Write them down. And again, if you are a student of mine in the Soul Legacy Academy and you want to get 2 hours of coaching with me, so you can just hold yourself accountable. We know really what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing, and what we want to do and what we don't really want to be doing, and what we can let go of and do more of. We know really, but sometimes it's just, I remember a gym manager who was saying to me, because I'm doing nutrition and gym instructor and personal trainer course, and he was saying all it is just people holding people accountable. Just that's it, mostly, because people drop off. That's it. So set your self intentions. Let me know what they are. We're going to say gratitude. I think this is going to be a short one today. Where's my gratitude stone? Here it is. Okay. So the way that we say gratitude I've got a love heart stone. You can have whatever you like or not. You can speak it out with me or not. You can write it down, whatever, but feel it. Feel it. The idea is to feel expansive and raise your vibration. So I say I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate for something in the past, something in the present, or something in the predicted future. And the way that we bring the Seven Freedoms Essential Living podcast and that spiritual business and life work balance is we say I'm happy and grateful and appreciate for all of the cheers. So all of the 7 freedoms. So I'll do it now. So I say I'm happy and I'm grateful and appreciate. So contribution. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my contribution to my great niece and nephews I fostered. They've just come to mind. My brother came to mind, and then they came to mind. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate, and it was a different brother as well, but I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that I was able to contribute to my family. That's huge. It is in the past, but it's still been a really big part of my life that has redirected my life, actually. And I had to pause my spiritual business while I was doing it, but I'm still happy and grateful. You know, that thing of like not having any regrets and things that change your life. And I believe that that was a redirection in my life. That's a pivotal time that I will be telling the story. I know they will be telling the story for a very long time with their Auntie Noni. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate health. Okay. That I can dance on the dance floor. That yeah, dancing is, I love it. I wrote a story and submitted it to the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Don't know if it'll be approved or not. But I wrote about Nana Noni's second time around and my mum's mum living to 101 and her dancing. When I turned 40, she danced in the Caribbean, on her 100th birthday. And I just always have had that in my mind. So every time I'm like dancing, it's like, yeah, that's our fuel. Our family love dancing. My mum's 80. She still gets up and dances. She was dancing a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't there at my niece. My niece that's named after me, actually. She was, mum was dancing and my daughter filmed it. Just, it's just lovely. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that. Good genes. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate emotions. Ooh, okay. Laughter. Yeah, just laughter. Me and my friend, we had our arms up in the air, my godson's mum, and we were dancing and laughing and reminiscing. We've been friends for like 3 decades, and yeah, it's just amazing, just epic. Yeah, I'm glad that she dragged me. She literally dragged me out. I'm happy and grateful and she didn't. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate the environment that we went out in, actually. The town that I'm in now it's lovely. It's really nice, actually. I do like it. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate spirituality. The signs and the synchronicities that I get, that message, that decoding of knowing like I'm on the right path. That's really epic. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate. I didn't do relationship. Did I do? No, I didn't do relationship. So relationship, I jumped to spirituality and environment. So relationships, I would say that all of my co-authors and all of the co-authors and all of the soul sisters that have joined the Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge in the Messenger group in Facebook. Facebook have got chats that are going away in groups, which I'm quite annoyed about, to be fair. I will be just straight up about that. I'm like, why? But they've got, and people are like, oh, chat's going away, chat's going away. But there's also like communities, so in Messenger. So I just created one of those and invited some people in, and some people have joined and commented, which is really nice. And so we have the Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge, and you can request to join that. And so I call it 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit and visibility and virtual book tour. I've written my book, It's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul-guided influencers compass to leverage your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. This is me leveraging my light work and lifestyle on YouTube for that spiritual business, work-life balance, and bringing spirituality into every area of my life. I love it. And so I had my book on my vision board. I had my book cover on my vision board, and the universe gave me a way to manifest it. That's been epic. And so now I share it and invite my co-authors to share their spiritual awakening stories as well. And so building like a movement is about relationships. And so I'm really looking forward to, over this next year, building my movement and connecting with more people. Happy and grateful for that. So thank you, guys. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate financial freedom. Oh yeah, so I looked in my Thinkific account and I remember just visualizing more freedom, more financial freedom coming in. And I love Thinkific. It tells you like how much you've earned over the last 30 days, and to have ideas and then to monetize those ideas, that's huge. And I realized, I was like, okay, I looked at it and it didn't really feel like anything, because it's like, oh, it's there. And then I'm like, no, I'll be really grateful for it. So I was in the moment, but now it's like, yeah, I really feel that, because it's an idea, and then in physical form you're earning. And I'm talking on the dating app, talking on Hinge, and somebody said to me, oh, what do you do? And it clearly says I'm a YouTuber, and it says I'm a coach, and it says I'm an author, and it says I'm a podcaster. And he's like, what is that? And I'm like, so you've not heard of YouTube and you've not heard of a podcast? It's like, oh yeah, I have. It's like, well, I'm a YouTuber and podcaster. And it's like, oh. And he said, oh, I've only seen celebrities. I didn't know that you could monetize it. And it's like, I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that I know that. And I'm here, and you can monetize it. Absolutely. All right. So I believe we've got a card for the day and then the book for the day. I took some notes about this book. It is Cal Gray, Raise Your Vibration. So let me see. Hang on. Audible, I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking down for. It says, everything is energy, is the chapter that I was listening to. And so, what does the actual, it says, raise your vibration, high vibe tools to support your spiritual awakening. And so just knowing that we are souls having a human experience. I did loads and pages of notes, and I can't actually read my own writing, so I don't know why I do that. I like to anchor things in, and then when I go to actually read it, that says message my mum. Yeah, when I go to read it, I can't actually read it, but I'll try. So basically, that was choosing a high vibe life. We know this. And he says about coming back to center, Calgary. And he says that basically your mind and your thoughts and your feelings, and that ripple effect that affects the energy and sending out that energy. And he said about like when people, good and bad energy, when people walk in a room, you can feel energy, even if you're not really aware of it and you don't really know, like, or forget that, oh, we're vibrating at a certain frequency every single second. And he said people and things are responding to our energy, our thoughts, and that whether we're fun to be around or not. And he says about we transform energy, and then he talks about the law of vibration and the Kabbalah and the Greek and ancient teachings on the law of vibration. And he says basically the universe is always responding to us, and we're always receiving. So what else does he say? It's unlimited. We forget that it's limited because we live in like a limited physical world. And then he talks about Course in Miracles. I haven't read it actually. Heard about it. I've read there was a book called Course in Miracles Made Easy. I might listen to that after this. When I finish Calgary, to be fair, for Spiritual Freedom Sunday. And he says A Course in Miracles is just a shift in your perception. Like thinking about it doesn't have to be a really big thing. A miracle isn't necessarily a really massive thing. It can be that you've got a roof over your head. A miracle can be that you have a family to love. A miracle can be that you wake up in the morning. And that's what I said to the guy. I was like, I'm grateful for life. What do you mean? What have I got to be grateful for? I don't get it. He says that sometimes the measuring system that we measure miracles by is off. And so he says that, like I say, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It's just a little thing. The little things in life are miracles. Every single day is a miracle. And he says the question is, what miracles do you need? And is it the perception that you need to think about, like, rather than basically taking things for granted or not? And he ends with a daily prayer, which I'm not even going to try to read because I know I wrote it down, but I can't see it. It says, today I release, I don't even know. Today I realize that my life is surrounded by miracles. Miracles are part of my way of life, my everyday life. I don't wish for a miracle, I expect them. For when miracles occur, nature is unfolding as it is intended. Or I can read it or I remember it more. I believe in miracles because I am a miracle. Miracles are attracted to my vibration. I give thanks for the miracle of life and the miracle of love. And so it is. I like that. Do you like that? Let's pull the card for today. And then we will hop off. I think I've done really well today. I don't know if this was the card that I pulled for Friday or not. And if it was, I think it was, But anyway, I'm going to read it. Lady Portia, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. This powerful goddess is a figure of justice and peace. She brings order and opportunity to every experience. As the Lord of Karma, she also regulates the law of cause and effect. She helps us recognize the impact of our judgments, choices, and actions on ourselves and the world. She is the twin flame of Saint Germain, so is strongly connected to the violet flame energy. Together, these twin flames can work as overseers of legal situations. Justice is an energy that's about honoring everyone involved rather than punishing bad behavior. Lady Portia helps us to do that, which is right. That which is right morally and spiritually for our own soul's growth. I love that. Extended message. Right now is a call for justice is being brought into your space. Even if this means you will lose out, there really is no loss in the highest state of truth. Act from the heart and see the other person's point of view and surrender your pride so that you are coming from a loving space. If you've made choices that weren't for the highest good, admit it. Through this honesty, you are releasing any karmic bonds or anchors. I haven't got my glasses on in case you read, and I've got a learning dyslexia, so I read slow anyway. Through this honesty, you are releasing any karmic bonds for anchors of fear from your energy. Take time to learn from this situation. And if you are involved in any legal issues, which I'm not, know that Lady Portia is the angel of justice and are gathering around to honor everyone involved. I have somebody who close to me who is, though. So yeah, sending love for that. So that is it. Wow. Bank 50k 50 days. Okay. Thinking that was quick. Right, bank 50k 50 days challenge. We are going to spend our vibrational money voucher. So this is the Soul Legacy Journal. And so we want to tithe 10% of our vibrational money voucher. We get £1,000, dollars, euros every single day. And you spend it on what is on your vision board and have experiences. Now, you come from the space that all your bills are paid. So this is the spirituality that comes in to and the energy of trusting that actually this action and these thoughts and these feelings are bridging the gap from where you are now to the vision, rather than like, oh, well, people say, oh, just put it on your vision board and forget it. And I get that, and not be attached to the outcome. But at the same time, if I was to put my book on my vision board and never take any action whatsoever, I would not be a number one best-selling author of my own book. I'm just saying, like, so experiences. So what would you spend £1,000 or dollars on? You tithe 10% to a worthy cause. I tithe to Compassionate Friends. It's a bereavement charity for bereaved parents. I was just chatting actually to two of the bereaved parents actually today. And so it's nice to have those connections. It's just a really beautiful charity in a beautiful space. And one of the ladies said, "Oh, it feels like home. It just feels like home." And another lady I was going to set up a group with. Now I'm doing one-on-one grief companion support and raising money as well. So tithing just seems like a natural thing to do. So what would you tithe to a worthy cause? What is your worthy cause? If you were going to spend £100, dollars, euros today, where would you spend it? What would you give it to? Just giving it away, that good feeling about money to just give it away. And then what would you spend it on? And so if you don't want to spend it every single day or you want to make a bigger purchase, I wait until Sunday. I tithe every day, energetically, vibrationally through the money voucher. If you come to the masterclass, the Spiritual Business Book Marketing on YouTube, free masterclass and bank 50k in 50 days challenge. So if you go to www.soullegacyacademy.com/courses/masterclass, I don't know why it's got that like dodgy thing there. Then you will see, hang on, there is homework, and I will share with you how to speak to, serve, and sign up your high paying soul clients so that you're online and so that you have that spiritual business and life work balance. I know that for me, many of my students that come to me are not sure how to monetize their YouTube channel, monetize with their course, monetize their book, just not really figuring everything out because we're taught go out there and build a list. And the money's not in the list, the money's in transformation, which my guys are super, super talented. It's just that framework and that marketing and that business side of stuff. And so I made a vow when I figured it out, then I would share it far wide and deep, and offering 50 breakthrough sessions that serve as a way to enroll into a group program is beautiful. Getting testimonials for it, getting information, gathering around your intake form, all those things. It's just beautiful. All right, that is it for this episode. And so I will see you on the next episode. Big love. Thank you for joining me. Take care. See you soon.